let's say if I have the graph of y equal to fx. Okay, this is what my scenario. The basic graph y equal to fx, take it to be as, let's say, some the general function y equal to e raised to x. Okay. Now from here, I want to move to the graph of f of minus x. So let's say I am given with the graph of y equal to fx, and I'm trying to move to the graph of y equal to f of minus x. They say that you can achieve it by just taking the mirror image with respect to y-axis. What am I actually trying to do? Think in this way. If I'm talking about f of minus x, so if I'm putting, see, if I have initially for this y equal to fx, we get at x equal to 1, we get f of 1. But here, when I put x equal to minus 1, then only I'll get this y equal to f of 1. Did you get my point? So the value which was achievable at x equal to 1, now this will be achievable at x equal to minus 1. Similarly, the value which was earlier achievable at x equal to 2, now it will be achievable at minus 2. Oh, alright. So the values for positive x, whatever the values I was getting, now I'll be getting for negative x, and vice versa. Alright. So maybe the values on the x-axis, whatever I was achieving on the x-axis, the positive x-axis, now they will be achievable at negative x-axis. Wow, that clearly means I have to take the mirror image with respect to the y equal to, with respect to the y-axis only, right? All right. So let's quickly see that. So the possibility is basically that if you want to do the transformation of f of x to f of minus x, you just have to take the mirror image with respect to y-axis as the values on the positive x-axis, now they will be achievable on the negative x-axis, and the value which were achievable earlier on the negative x-axis, now they will be achievable on the positive x-axis. Alright, that's the only thing which you have to take care in your mind. Now, let's say I am given with the graph of y equal to e raised to x, a pretty simple one. So, y equal to f e raised to x is this. And if I want to take the f of minus x, so let's say if I have y equal to e raised to x, that happens to be my fx, then I can say that my f of minus x will be nothing but e raised to minus x, of course. So, e raised to minus x, what do I need to do? I just have to plot the graph by taking the mirror image with respect to y-axis. Let's see the mirror image. See, that's how the mirror image for the graph is actually being traced. They will be intersecting both on the y-axis only, of course. There is no doubt about it. Another thing that you have to be just careful about it, or that is something that you can always recall. See, this is the final graph of y equal to e raised to minus x. Perfect. This thing you can very easily verify because this is ultimately nothing but y equal to 1 upon e raised to x. And you know, when the base is a fraction, then the graph of the exponential function for a fractional base, let's say this is y equal to a raised to x. And if it is given that the base is a fraction, then the graph is always in this format only, right? So you can remember it. You can remember it like that. If you take the example of e raised to x, and if you want to move to the graph of e raised to minus x, you just have to take the mirror image with respect to y-axis, because e raised to minus x is nothing but 1 upon e raised to x. That is a fraction raised to x. And for fraction raised to x, those exponential function will always follow this trend of the graph. All right. This, I'll just make it once again. It looks more now. I hope this looks, maybe it's not touching. Oh my God, what I'm doing. See, this is the trend that is going to follow. All right, sure. I hope this is a drawing. See, I'm not good at drawing. I know maths well, and that's enough for me. All right, this is done. So from fx to f of minus x, you just have to take the mirror image with respect to the line y-axis. That's it, and you're done. And the finest example is from y equal to e raised to x. If you want to y equal to e raised to minus x, you know both the graphs beforehand. You can quickly recall in case ever you forget it. Right? So this is a very simple way to remember it. All right. Okay. I hope the logic is also clear. Okay, perfect. Now, let's say if I want to go for y equal to minus fx, right? The new transformation. So let's say the y equal to fx is given to me in this format. The second transformation that I'm talking about is basically for y equal to minus fx. So outside the fx, I've just multiplied a minus 1. What did I do? Every value of fx has been multiplied by minus 1. So the values which were earlier positive, now they will become negative. The values which were earlier negative, now after being multiplied by minus 1, they will become positive. Alright, and the value which was 0, they will remain 0. So what does my scenario say? My scenario says the value which were greater than x-axis or the above the x-axis or the graph which was above the x-axis, now they will come below the x-axis because I have multiplied by minus 1. I have made those positive values as negative. And also the values which were below the x-axis or the graph which were below the x-axis, now it will reach above the x-axis. right? Because the negative values when multiplied by -1 will eventually become what? Positive. So what will I be doing? I'll be multiplying every value by -1. So entire y, or rather fx was multiplied by -1. What is the logic? Logic says that you just have to take the mirror image with respect to x-axis. That's it. Just take the mirror image with respect to x-axis. So this was my graph. Now the moment when I take the transformation of y equal to -fx, it will just flip it with respect to x-axis. So this is nothing but taking the mirror image. Alright, so this is nothing but taking the mirror image with respect to x-axis. So from f of x to f of -x, you were taking mirror image with respect to y-axis, and from y equal to fx to y equal to -fx, you have to take the mirror image with respect to x-axis. That's it. And this will be my final graph actually. Alright, so this red colored one will be nothing but y equal to -fx. I just have taken the graph. Can you see that the yellow color portion one, this one? When I just take the mirror image with respect to x-axis, this is how my red color mirror image will look like, right? The red color one. Can you see that? Alright, sure. The points on the x-axis will remain same. They will not change, right? Because the y coordinate on the x-axis is 0. So even if you multiplied -1 with 0, it will eventually give you 0 only. So these points will remain as alpha, 0 and beta, 0. Okay, so from y equal to fx to y equal to -fx, you just have to take the mirror image with respect to x-axis. That's it. So once finally, this is nothing but y equal to fx, and the graph which is red colored one, this is nothing but y equal to -fx, and for that matter, you just have to take the mirror image with respect to x-axis. Sorted? Lovely. So second case is clear? Perfect. Now let's quickly talk about the next transformation. Again, let's say this is what my graph has given to me, y equal to fx. So my the points on the x-axis are alpha, 0 and beta, 0, and the bottommost point is having the minimum value of y as a. Okay. Now what exactly they want to do? So earlier we talked about from y equal to fx to we move to f of -x. Okay. So let's say I'll write it here. So from fx I move to f of -x. And from fx I move to -fx. What if I do both of them at the same time? What if I want to do y equal to minus of f of -x? My God, what is happening? Are you trying to take the mirror image with respect to x-axis as well as y-axis? What does it mean? What does it mean? All right, let's try to figure it out. And we'll do it step by step, all right? And we'll be doing it very nicely. See, don't take it, assume the previous transformation. We'll do it one by one. And that's how we see like how my graph is looking. Okay, so if I want to reach to y equal to minus f of -x, let's see how initially this y equal to fx looks like. Okay, perfect. Now, if this is y equal to fx, then y equal to f of -x will be what? You just take the mirror image with respect to y-axis, right? So initially from fx, I'm reaching to f of -x, and then I'll be reaching to minus of f of -x. So what we'll be doing in the first transformation, we'll be taking the mirror image with respect to y-axis. So here the mirror image will be with respect to y-axis. Here the mirror image will be with respect to x-axis. Right? Okay. So mirror image is clear. Initially, we'll take the mirror image with respect to y-axis. Then we'll take the mirror image with respect to x-axis. So when I take up the mirror image for this graph with respect to y-axis, what will happen? The point which is alpha, 0, now it will become minus alpha, 0. And the point which is beta, 0, now it will become minus beta, 0. And I'll be just taking the mirror image with respect to y-axis. Listen very carefully. Look at the transformation very carefully. Ta-ta-da! This is how the transformation will look like. Now, what are the point do I have? Minus beta, 0 and minus alpha, 0. What is this situation? This situation is nothing but f of -x. So from fx, I have reached to f of -x just by taking the mirror image with respect to y-axis. Sorted? Okay. Now, I will be actually multiplying this f of -x by a -1. So I'll be taking the mirror image of the graph with respect to x-axis. What will you do? You'll just flip the graph, right? Just flip with respect to x-axis. And this is how my picture will look like. Can you see the transformation? So the above dotted one is nothing but f of -x. When I take the mirror image with respect to x-axis, I will be eventually reaching to minus f of -x. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, just follow the process. And even if you follow the process in this way, that initially you are doing from f of x to minus fx, and then from minus fx to minus of f of -x, it doesn't matter. But I'm saying, if from fx you initially move to minus fx, and from there if you move to minus f of -x, even then also the final graph will still remain the same. It will not change. It will definitely not change, right? You don't have to worry about it at all. It will surely not change. Okay, all right, let me quickly show you how does it look. So fx, y equal to fx is known to you. So let's say if I want to follow the second path, which is minus fx. So minus fx will look to me somewhat like this. So my graph will be eventually become somewhat like this. That is, this will become alpha comma 0. This will become beta comma 0. Right, so this is f minus fx. Now from minus fx, if I want to move to minus of f of minus x, I'll be taking the mirror image with respect to what? Y-axis. So from here, what will happen? The point which is at beta comma 0, now it will actually reach to minus beta comma 0. The point which is alpha comma 0, now it will reach to minus alpha comma 0. And my graph will become somewhat like this, which is nothing but eventually this graph. Did you understand the process? It doesn't matter whichever transformation you are taking first and then whichever they say you are taking second. If you remember them well, then you will always get the final and the correct graph. All right.